That's the Europa League group stage all said and done with for Arsenal. We finished top of the group. 5 wins out of 6. 8 goals scored across the 6 matches. What an efficient group stage it was for Mikel Arteta and the boys. Today, FC Zurich, they came down to the carpet, and it was only 1-0, but we beat them handily. Let's get into it. Good afternoon, my peoples, and welcome back to the Counterattack. I hope you and yours are doing very, very well. Today, FC Zurich come down to the carpet for the final Europa League group stage match. And I know I've said it a couple weeks in a row, my people, but it didn't matter who Arteta put out today. I wanted to see all 3 points, a good performance, and no problems. I don't want any surprises today. And I looked at the lineup this afternoon, and certain watchers of the Counterattack are going to be very, very happy because guess who has made an appearance? Mohamed El-Neni, back for us in the midfield. Nelson starts today as well. Tierney is back at left back. I'm expecting a win today. No excuses. To start the match today, it was a little bit of a disjointed start, and honestly, that's in keeping with how we start when Arteta makes a whole bunch of changes. The team just looked a little bit scrappy, a little bit disjointed. Some of these players have clearly not played together very much competitively, and it was especially a little bit stark between Fabio Vieira and Reiss Nelson. There were a couple times where their runs just weren't matching up together. They just were not on the same page, so not the best start. There was no need to panic, my friends, because on 17 minutes, oh boy, 1-0 to the Arsenal. Here we go. White, he has been fantastic this year. Another excellent overlap, and the cross comes into Vieira. He hits it, but it gets deflected over to Kieran Tierney, who hits it like Roberto Carlos in his prime. Ooh, sweet, sweet finish in the corner. 1-0 Arsenal, and we are headed to that round of 16, my people. So as the first half wore on, we started to assert our dominance. We were just camped out in the Zurich half, and honestly, they barely threatened us in that first half. Nelson, he looked lively. Vieira, it was good to see Vieira today, because while all of his touches weren't perfect, his selection when it came to his passes were not perfect at all, but I think he just needs game time. He really just needs competitive game time to get into his groove. As much as he can. The White and Tierney overlaps on the wings were absolutely killing Zurich. They had no idea how to handle it, and honestly, I was looking forward to more of the same in that second half. The second half was pretty much a continuation of the first. Again, we were camped out in their half. Whenever they managed to get the ball to their front men, Tosin and number 23, they honestly didn't really do too much of it. It was only a matter of time before Holding, before Gabriel, before Ben White, got the ball off of them. That's pretty much how the second half went on until the substitutions came. Arteta, in his infinite wisdom, decides to send on Thomas Partey and Bukayo Saka, and I know the Gooners were absolutely terrified, just bricking themselves at the thought of an injury to either one of them. Well, for most of the second half, there was not much to talk about. Again, it was the same old, same old. We're just camped out in the Zurich half. Zurich tries to get out. Same old, same old. Nothing to say there. But one thing I do want to say is credit to the away support today. For most of the match, they were the only ones that I heard banging their drums, doing the pause and then jump, everything like that. The home support today was a little bit anemic. And, I get it. It's the last group stage match. Everyone expects 3 points today, so there wasn't too much jeopardy. I think everyone was mainly hoping, even if we didn't win this game, that no one would come up with an injury. But that was not to be the case. It was only in the final few minutes of that second half that I think the Arsenal players really realized the gravity of the situation, that we were only up 1-0 and that PSV were probably going to be Bodo Glimt, and we just had to come out of here with all 3 points, or else it would just be supremely embarrassing. So I think some nerves really crept in those last few minutes because the tide and the tilt of the game just completely changed. Zurich all of a sudden got very, very brave and courageous. Where was this the whole game? And they just started attacking us more and more and getting a few better quality chances. Their manager was jumping up and down. He looked like he was filled with anxiety as they got closer and closer to scoring on us. But I think the worst thing that could happen today happened in the final few minutes as well, and it wasn't Zurich scoring. Tomiyasu, he comes on to give Ben White a bit of a rest, but it really looked like he pulled up with a hamstring injury there on the when the camera zoomed in on him. Not only did he look very upset, as if he knew something was wrong and might keep him out of the World Cup, but I could see him reaching underneath his leg, right where the hamstring is, the telltale sign, and I hope it's not too serious. He walked off under his own power. He didn't need anyone to carry him off, unlike Ben Chilwell the day before. So I'm hoping it's not too serious. He'll be available for Chelsea, and he'll be available for Japan for the World Cup. It really would be horrible at this point. I think Japan actually named their 26-man squad, and he's in it. If he were to go out the very next day, really horrible for him. Not good, not a great way to end the game. My man of the match today, I'm gonna give it to Sambi Lokonga. He actually played in his preferred number 8 spot. At first, he had El Neni behind him, and then Partey came on. But I thought he did quite well further up the pitch. He looked much more comfortable playing that advanced 8 position rather than the 6. So well done to him. Man of the match performance today. Thank you for sticking with me, my people. Please slap that like button and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.